princess like me should never have been treated like that. Despite that, the red flags, I guess red was my favorite color because I've been seeing those flags and I've been waving them very high. Hey guys, it's your girl BJ, and this week, or in this video, I'll be sharing with you my testimony. So, if you're interested in hearing about what it's been like on the journey of being a Christian girl, a church girl, a Jesus girl, then this is the video for you. And it promises to be good. So, I will catch you guys on the flip side. First, I'd like to say welcome to my new subscribers, and I want to also say thank you to all of you who've been watching my videos. I've been seeing the growth and I'm loving it, but we need to get to 300 subscribers before my birthday. So before February 21st gets here, let's see if we can get our subscribers count up to 300 and more. But I really want to thank all my subscribers who have been here since day one, since 2020, and I really appreciate you guys, and welcome to my new subscribers, and let's keep the train moving. I've been wanting, this was one of the main reasons for starting my channel. I really felt like I would one day share my story with you guys, how I got here, why I became a Christian, and what it's really been like being a Christian in today's world. And we all know that can be a struggle. I've come a pretty far way, so let's divulge into that. So before being a Christian, I was just a normal girl, I guess, who loves the normal things. But somewhere along the line, I sort of, I guess, I stepped out of my character. Let's put it that way. I stepped out of my character, and for a while it was pretty confusing. So I think my Christian walk would have started when I was in high school, where I was really going through that phase that teenagers go through. But it was from then that I started relying more on God, because homegirl wanted a change. Homegirl didn't know how to change, but homegirl knew that Jesus was the answer. Fast forward to when I was an adult, I started getting into, I guess, serious relationships. I started my first relationship with this young man, and it was exciting, it was new, and it was that. But as a Christian, or wanting to be a Christian, we all know relationships are not necessarily the best things for us, unless the person is also a Christian, unless there are certain boundaries that are set, unless there's a certain understanding that has been laid before both parties. So of course, I was doing all the things you can think of that person's in a relationship. That was me, and I knew something was off, but at the same time, it didn't bother me much, so it was fine. I guess it was fine. Then I ended up being in another relationship. By then I was in college, and it was fun, it was cool. Still in the back of my mind, this is not where I'm supposed to be. I should not be partaking in any of this at all, not right now. And that went, and then I ended up being in my third and final relationship for a very, very, very long while. Now this relationship, I really thought it could have been I really thought it could have been the relationship, to the point where, and by this time I was a little bit more serious in terms of wanting to be a Christian or wanting to walk the path that was the right path that would have aligned with Jesus, right? So I thought it was going somewhere, to the point where when I saw the red flags, I sort of convinced myself otherwise, that, these can be fixed. He'll become a Christian, he'll change his ways, and all that. He'll respect my boundaries. But I thought wrong. So it started off well, and I guess at the time I didn't quite know who I was spiritually, and I didn't quite believe that it was okay to set boundaries and have them, if not met, walking away from whatever it is that would have crossed those boundaries. And eventually the relationship got serious, and I really saw a future with this person. I really thought, despite that the red flags, I guess red was my favorite color because I've been seeing those flags and I've been waving them very high. So that was that. Until it came to a point where I realized that, why be in a relationship if it's gonna have that effect on me, right? Why be in this constant tug and war? Should I stay? Should I not stay? Is it okay to let him know this? But what will he do then? Will I be okay alone? All these questions I was thinking about, until one day I really love this person. But of course, the red flags, all the things that the person did that did not. A princess like me should never have been treated like that. No regular, average, super average, or above average. No girl deserves to be treated or deserve to have been treated like that. There are basic things in life that I think any decent human being should be able to offer when entering a relationship, and some of those things were not met. So I was in a tug of war, deciding if I wanted to stay, but I knew deep down that I could not stay. As much as I wanted to, I couldn't stay. Reason being, I was just super uncomfortable, and I just felt like God was giving me just a little time to get my affairs together before he did what he was gonna do. And I always hear that God is a jealous God, and I felt like that day was coming. So I remember when there was this event being held at my school, well, at college, and it was a prayer meeting, all-night prayer meeting. Now, I wasn't necessarily a fan of all-night prayer meetings, much less prayed in that context. But I went. Now, I didn't plan to go, so I actually went to bed, and I woke up, and I just felt like I needed to be there. And during this whole phase, I was sort of deciding, how am I going to leave this individual? Because I really didn't feel like I could have on my own. Because I didn't want to, but I knew I had to. And that was the hardest part. Knowing what I had to do, but actually having to do it. Couldn't do that on my own. So I got ready. I went down to where the prayer meeting was being held. And the whole time I was in conflict, I was sad, I was confused, I was uncertain. I was hoping that I would make the right decision one day. So at some point, one of the persons who was, I guess, the lead speaker, or the person who would share God's word, one of those person, he then at the end asked that, persons who are, looking for a way out, for these persons to come forward. And so we all stood in a circle, actually, and we all stood in a circle, and we're there. And then I realized that this man, he started prophesying, and I'm like, okay, what is he gonna say about me? But I never thought he would have said what he actually said. I'm gonna share it with you guys. And he pretty much said that, the decision that I have to make is the right decision, right? And I'm starting a new chapter in my life, and God will be with me, right? I just need to put him first. It is okay to decide what I'm going to decide on, and everything basically will be okay. And this man literally read my file, and it was then that I got the courage to decide that I can't do this relationship anymore. Now, being a Christian and being in a relationship with someone who is not a Christian, that will lead to several things. And the major thing being engaging in premarital sex. And while it was fun, all fun and games, it was not where I was supposed to be. And so I eventually was able to end the relationship. Now, what really led me to God was what happened after the relationship ended. And that was, I guess that was our final or goodbye or whatever that was. Anyway, stuff went down, and when homegirl got home, homegirl was disappointed in herself because she knew that that wasn't what she was called to do, not yet at least, right? Homegirl knew that she disappointed God. She knew that she had made promises, and she knew that she didn't follow through on those promises. So in the night, I was home and feeling disappointed, trying to forget about what I did, and it just wasn't working out. And I just literally found myself not being able to sleep. And you know how Shane always said, "I'm here alone in the dark room." The song never make it, but at the time, I was the only one in the dark room, or so I thought, because there was a little flicker of light, and that was Jesus, right? So I was there and I just started crying. I couldn't believe that I allowed myself to go back into the same situation that I knew I did not belong in. I couldn't believe that I disappointed God so many times leading up to that day. I couldn't believe that I dishonored my body like that. And I was ashamed. I was ashamed of myself. I was ashamed and disappointed that I let God down. And it was just a burdensome set of emotions. I didn't even know what was happening. I cried. I literally was bawling. I put face in a pillow and bawl. Because I never want my parents know say me I go through this. Because I didn't know how I would explain this all to them. So I called my best friend, and you see, I never love my best friend now because my best friend, she's a Christian, and I think it's important that you have the right persons in your life. Because had she not been a Christian, I don't think I would really understand what was happening. And we're on the phone, and I couldn't even talk to her. I let her know that I'm on the phone, and then after that, I couldn't say anything because I was crying. And then, she consoled me, and then I got to the point where I was able to explain to her what was happening. And it was even harder to call her too. But she was the only person that I knew I could, in that moment, really call on. Because she knew the struggles that I had. She knew the battle I was fighting. She knew where I wanted to be. And to the point where she did everything she could to support me. At one point, she gave me her engagement ring as a sign of purity, and it helped. But I don't know, this is what happens when you're in the wrong places, because at some point it didn't help. And I just felt like I let her down as well in that moment. But she let me know what was happening, and since that night, it was in July, I decided to make a change. And having decided that, I felt refreshed, but I felt torn, I felt hurt, I was angry. All the negative emotions you could think of, that was me. And then we went into a whole other story on how I actually found God. So that was the beginning of it all. It was a horrible night, and I never ever want to experience something like that ever again. Because imagine there being a block on your chest. Like you can't lift it up. You can't breathe properly. You can't do anything. And it's like I don't know how to explain it. But it was a horrible feeling. And I didn't know that I was at the time being convicted for all I've done. But in the moment, I remember having asked God to forgive me and I decided that I would serve him, and that all happened in my bedroom. So let's go into how I started or continued my journey. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, and also share this video with someone who you know it could possibly help. I'll see you in my next videos, and thank you for watching. Bye.